I didn't really see myself making this video, and to be completely honest, after trying to script it multiple times, I still didn't see myself making this video. So I figured I would wing it because what could possibly go wrong when you wing this kind of video? Everything. So I don't remember when it was now. Was it? I think it was in September that I happened to stumble upon Twitter and see that Mario stuff was trending. I looked into it, interested, curious as to the haps. And I see a trailer with a bunch of likes, a bunch of retweets, a lot of people stoked. It was a new collection coming out for the Switch that it was Super Mario 3D All-Stars. So Super Mario 64, but which isn't really that important. I mean, I love it, but more importantly, Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Sunshine, I said those in reverse, I'm sorry, but those got a release for the first time since ever. So that's a pretty big deal. So 3 great Mario games all on one Switch, whatever they're called, carts and thingies. So that sounded great, and I saw complaining out of the gate, like, oh, why isn't this like the Crash trilogy, where they're all fully remade? And I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't mind full-on remakes of all these games. That's not really what I would have expected from it, or even necessarily wanted. What I would have wanted was not the Shindu version of Super Mario 64. But yeah, 3 great Mario games for the price of one normally priced game. That's a great thing to announce. People were happy. One thing was amiss, in that it was only being sold until March of next year, which I have many thoughts about. The first one is primarily how much of a weird strategy that is. Oh, Mario, you're what? Celebrating your 35th birthday? 35 years. That's a long time, Mario. We really appreciate that whole you helping us save video games thing. Tell you what, since we like you so much, we're gonna celebrate you until March of next year. And you're gonna get a new compilation game until March of next year, at which point we will pull it from the stores, both physically and digitally. We would have given you a year, of course, but Luigi already took the year, and we only had the one, so sorry about that. I don't know. That, one, it seems stupid and weird and pointless. 2, it seems kind of a little disrespectful. 3, it creates an urgency to purchase a game that was already going to sell like hotcakes because it's Mario. And I don't know if any of you were aware, but Mario, pretty popular. A lot of people like Mario. I'm a fan. There are others, I would imagine. Hell, I'm willing to bet that there are people looking at this limited release thing. And we're going to talk about the games and stuff too. I'm baffled by it. But people who maybe they don't own a Switch. But, they grew up with Mario, and they look at this and think, oh, I love those games. I want to play those games again, but I don't own a Switch yet. I guess I'll buy this game, because after March, I'm not going to be able to. It's incredibly weird and ripe for scalpers. And although I did have, 2 people say, I'm sure Nintendo has a good reason. I don't think they do. Best case scenario is we heard your concerns, and tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and not remove the game that we already released in stores, both physically and digitally. In fact, because we care, we're gonna keep selling it. We're gonna let you keep giving us money because we care. That's legitimately shitty. I like, no matter what way you look at it. I would like to think that's something everyone can agree on. By the way, I should have mentioned this by now. This is not meant to be coming off as, like, a bitchy video, because I am thankful that these games are re-released. Or are really... It's nice to have them on the Switch. You know, I have insomnia. Sometimes at night, you know, I want to play Super Mario 64 in bed. Who doesn't, you know... Sometimes in bed, you just want to explore the galaxy or clean stuff. I don't know. I'm glad Nintendo went ahead and said, oh, okay, let's make a re-release of Super Mario 64 Sunshine and Galaxy. That's a great idea. Have zero issue with it. I have some other, you know, tiny issues. One, they inverted the camera. Don't know how you do that. They did say that on the 16th of this month, they are going to allow options for you to change the camera, i.e. they're fixing the camera they messed up, which is for free, though, which is very gracious. I saw people, like, quote tweeting that, or whatever it's called, and they're like, oh, thank you, Nintendo. That was my only problem with this. What about the 6-month thing? You know, as for the actual games, they're great. Super Mario 64 is the Shindu release, for, you know, in case you don't know, that's, for, as far as I know, that's the newest version of Super Mario 64 that was released in Japan. That's the version that was released on the Japanese Virtual Console. In Europe and North America, however, the newest version was the version where the backwards long jump still worked. So that was the version that went up in those territories, Virtual Consoles, I believe. So NTSC and PAL. And the backwards long jump is great. It completely breaks Super Mario 64 and all the ways that, you know, someone who enjoys speedruns can appreciate. Who's gonna speedrun the Shindu release? I'm sure there's someone who does it, but, like, I don't know. It's like no fun. This could have been like, and I know Nintendo probably doesn't care about getting people into this, but if they would have, you know, used the ROM or whatever. What are you using, Nintendo? Dolphin? Modified Dolphin? What's going on there? But if you would have just popped in a version that still had the backwards long jump, I don't know, like, people maybe would have gotten into speedrunning the game. It's not that complicated. It's a good first speed run, you know. So, missed opportunity. Otherwise, you know, the game is fine if you're gonna play it like a normal person or whatever. As for the claims that Nintendo removed a bunch of glitches, well, that's just not true. The backwards long jump is gone, but it was already gone in this version of the game for the N64. So, other than that, to my knowledge, a lot of other stuff still works. You know, like MIPS. I hate MIPS. And of course, you know, you have Super Mario Sunshine. I will admit I'm less knowledgeable about this title in terms of it, like, you know, like graphical issues that would have shown up from improper emulation. I do know some debug cubes are apparently in the game. Those same cubes I also believe can be found while I'm emulating the game on the PC, so it is the authentic emulated GameCube experience. Lack handle. Put a handle on your Switch. Carry it everywhere. Or in a bag, but really just glue a handle onto it. It won't fit in the dock anymore, but you don't need that. I know, I think there's some, I think there's some. There are some issues with Sunshine. I believe most of those being the same issues that you would run into while playing emulated on the PC. Which, again, I am not, like, super familiar with. There's also some issue with, like, using one of the nozzles underwater where it screws up the 16:9, 4:3 aspect ratio thing. Again, not super knowledgeable. And then you have Galaxy, which works pretty well. There are graphical issues. Again, I'm going to assume that there are probably some issues with the emulation, or I mean, certain issues with emulating on the PC might still be an issue here as well, if I had to guess. Again, not an expert on this. Although I do have to say, Galaxy plays a lot better than I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to have to, I don't know, bust out the Joy-Cons or something. But no, you can play that with a Pro Controller. It works fine. It's oddly responsive, and you can reset the cursor. So yeah, that's I don't know, that one turned out good. I mean, again, there's issues, but that one turned out good. I think that's the Pro Controller, good stuff. I don't know if you can play the original way. I don't want to try it. Alternatively, if you play it in handheld mode, you can use the touch screen if that's your thing. But I think these are just emulated titles. The only thing Nintendo really did, maybe, was, or not even maybe, I know they did, they made the HUDs look better. So, yay. Other than that, and the Shindu thing, that does legitimately bother. Can you patch in another version of Super Mario 64? I would appreciate it. Also, I forgot to mention this just because it's kind of weird. When you start the game, it plays Super Mario Galaxy 2 music. Now, I don't know if you like 100% all three of the games, as well as the three soundtracks. 100% all those that the game just shows up, or if like someone is flipping me off over at Nintendo. Like I'm a little that's a legitimate confused thing right there. Unless it wasn't music from Super Mario Galaxy 2, and all this was a dream. Would be a decent alternative, I'm not gonna lie. And so, what we have all together here are, Super Mario 64 Shindu version, Galaxy with, emulation issues, and Sunshine. Why do I keep saying those backwards? It's supposed to be Sunshine and then Galaxy, because order. And then you also get the soundtrack for Super Mario 64 Galaxy. And what? I did it again. And Sunshine. Water. On one hand, I like these video games. And again, not trying to come off as too bitchy, even though I'm pretty sure I already did. And I did see comments or tweets or whatever online saying, oh, Nintendo doing something, and people are just out here bitching about everything. Why can't you just let people enjoy things? And I enjoy these games. I love these games. But look, a couple bottom lines. If you look at this face value, Nintendo took a ROM, 2 ISOs, and then like some FLAC files or MP3s or whatever, threw them on a Switch cart and released that, which, in of itself, I don't necessarily have an issue with. They could certainly do better, but whatever. Then they add on to that a limited time release, so you can only buy it until March of next year, which means people are gonna feel pressured to buy what is not the definitive release for these games, or even something that feels appropriate for an anniversary. It's like, well, happy anniversary, Mario. We did the bare minimum for you because we care. Also, again, only 6 months. We only want to make money for 6 months, and or potentially make a bunch of money off like scalpers and then decide last minute you're gonna keep selling the game. Like, I keep trying to figure out the 6-month thing. It's throwing me off so much. Who releases a game for like, how many months is it? Like, September, October, November, December, February. So 7-ish? Like, Matt, I may have missed one, because, I'll be honest, I'm half awake, but who does that? I only want to make money for 6 or 7 months, I guess, and then I think we're gonna pack it up. It's like when Disney would always say, hey, we're putting this one back in our Disney vaults, and then you're never gonna see it again. And you'd always see it again because it's Disney, but it just, it never made sense. Why would you say something? Why would you do something like? Why would you lock away something so popular? Oh wait, it's to inflate sales. You cynical bastards! And that's kind of my ultimate problem with this, is that this whole thing just seems cynical. And it wouldn't be the first cynical Mario collection. Like, I think on the Wii, they straight up just put the SNES Super Mario All-Stars ROM on a Wii disc. And I think that's all they did. I'm not sure. There could have been some menus. I didn't actually pick that up. I saw a video on it. But more or less, that's what that was. So, you know, this is more effort than that. But my problem with that is that I know, and I think you know, and I know, I really know that Nintendo knows that they are capable of so much more than what this is. You know, thank you again for re-releasing these games. Honestly, I'm thankful. But you're so much better than this. It's in ways, it's infuriating. I would expect this cynical shit out of, like, EA or Activision, who kind of remade went a less cynical route. I don't know how Crash 4 is, but, like, it bugs me. And the only thing that probably bugs me more than that is the fact that more people don't seem mad. Like, I don't think I've seen too many people up in arms over this. Maybe that's something that'll happen as we approach the games maybe taking off the shelves, maybe staying on the shelves, maybe someday your Eve Wind will get a new chair that doesn't squeak. Who's to say at this point? Also, I saw recently they were doing some limited release with Fire Emblem 2. Stop doing that. Stop selling your games for a couple of months. No one... Look, I hate to be the person to say it, but no one likes the company who only sells their games for a couple of months and then says, I'm not selling my games anymore. That's just not a good tactic for business and whatnot. I mean, it is if you're trying to sell, like, way more units than you were gonna sell otherwise, which was already, according to my approximations, a bajillion D, considering the install base on the Switch. But with that added urgency there, why, you could obviously make $87 kaflimillion instead. And, you know, ultimately, that's better for the company. That was Rambly Thoughts, the video. I'm sorry for this. I'm not going to tie any of the names of my patrons to this, just because I'm doing you a favor. Next video, we're back, but I've wanted to talk about this for a while because it bugs me. And I don't know. But hey, I'd love to be wrong. Prove me wrong, Nintendo. Don't make this cynical situation less cynical. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but give it a shot. But yeah, and I don't ask this normally. Also, we're not going into End Slate, by the way, so you're welcome. But I am curious. This is something I would normally not ask, but I am curious because I would like to compile thoughts on this. What are your thoughts? Like, are you upset at Nintendo? Do you think they could do more? Do you have no problem with this? Do you not really care? Do you think people are bitching too much? Do you think this is overblown? Do you think it's not overblown? Or do you think it's not blown enough? Should it be blown more? Maybe. I better stop the video right now. Hope anyone enjoyed Dumpster Fire the video. Love you all. See you next time on Dumpster Fire the video. I'm your Evelyn. This chair sucks.